This is not how you
Remain
bring
myself. So today we want to talk about something very essential again. We are going to dabble into series 2, which is talking about integration of other professional languages into HTML in Notepad. I said today we are going to talk about a topic called integration, and it's going to be pelleted under series 1. Beg your pardon. It's going to be pelleted under series 2. And I'm going to tag it as integration. The reason is because we are going to import some other languages, some other computer programming languages to support HTML language in order to have a more fashionable, more engaging website or app. And those languages we are going to be considering today. Now we have different kind of languages we use in designing websites. We have HTML, we have PHP, we have CSS, we have Java, we have pairing, and there are very plenty. So, but today, what we are going to integrate with HTML to have a more better website is we are going to be integrating CSS language and JavaScript. We're going to partner it with HTML in order to have a better website. So don't get it twisted. You are at the right place at the right time. So now quickly, I will show you a very little template for you to just Google at. So look at a template of integration. This is the template of integration. I just did something like this, so we want to look at it together. I will explain it before we now go deeply into practical. Now, whenever you are designing a site that you want to introduce other languages to partner with, or you want to introduce other languages to partner with what we call HTML. Basically, in our previous, let me just do a recap for us. In our previous analogy, I tried to introduce you or intimate you with the basic standard, the basic internet protocol to design a website or an app using HTML language. And if you remember, the first thing we are going to do is to open our header, which we tag the header as HTML. You get now. So, but in terms of any website, a very powerful website that you are going to introduce other languages, you don't start by opening HTML. Rather, you start by opening a doc. Start by opening a doc type. And you open a doc type. You open a doc type in this format. So look at what I just did now. You open a doc file in this format. So you are going to open the doc file with this format. The meaning of this doc is document. That is to say, this your website, you want other varieties of documents to be able to be included. You want the website to have the capacity to absorb other documents. You know what we are just designing before? It's just a simple website where there's not necessarily no special documents that we really included. But now you want to design a site in which you can copy right up from your MS Word. You can introduce it to the website. You can copy other JavaScript. You can copy other programming language and introduce it into the website. Okay, so I said, just like what I said, look at the template. Because of time factor, I would have been tapping it manually, but just stay focused. I will explain what it really connotes. So I said the first thing you're going to do is you're going to open your doc type. So instead of opening HTML direct, you tell your system that I want this HTML package, the head of this. When you want to open the head, I want this website to have the capacity to accommodate all the documents from within and outside the shore of your programming. So that's when you can now put your HTML using. To take note, this doc, the capital letter doesn't really connote anything. If you put capital letter, it doesn't affect the programming. If you put small letter, it doesn't affect the programming. So this is how you open it. Very, very important. So after this, that's when you can now go to your generic way of designing website. That's when you can now go to your HTML. That's when you go back to your HTML. Okay, I want you to be attentive. I want you to be focused, because in this module, let's say in this unit, you are going to have to borrow, you are going to have to play around with a lot of code, which you need to have them at your tips of your fingers. Okay, so now look at what I'm saying. So this is it. That's your normal way. Remember, the normal way, after you introduce with HTML your doc type, the normal HTML head, and after head, the next thing is to open head. That's the next thing. Remember, the next thing is to open your head. You open your head. So what's the next thing? When you open head, definitely you close the head. You close the head. So between opening of head and closing the head, that's where you engulf your title. That's where you engulf your title. Just like this. That's where you put your title, just like what we have been teaching you. That's where you put your title. So let's assume that now that the title, take note, whenever you are doing a more professional website, your head is not necessary. You can't, the title shouldn't be it's not necessary. Beg your pardon. When you are doing a doc type of website, it's not really a necessity for you to open your title as the name of the website. But when you are doing a static website that is not really too fashionable, you should use the first title to be www. That is the name, the domain name of your website. But in this context, what you use as the head or the first title is just the major title you want to give to your website. Let's assume that this site is all about watching movies. So definitely I can say how to watch Nigeria movie, for instance. How to watch Nigeria movie, for instance. I know we are very conversant with all those programming languages, opening title. These are things that I've already taught you already. After you open your title, what will be the next thing you are going to do? Definitely you close the title. You close the title. So you close the title. You close the title. So after this now just like now, you see, your title is everything that is going to occur at the topmost part of your website. Now, in this content now, you see how to make videos. That's what we'll be showing here. The one you learned before is the title is going to reflect here. Maybe www.videos.com. But so this title we just created now is what will reflect at the topmost banner. So, but in the other modules, or let's say in other series, the series 1, we didn't really teach you how to have some graphical design to the topmost part of your website. So what I mean by that is there's no way we didn't really teach you how to design these top parts. What we just did is that you give your heading, maybe your marquee, something is moving, you put your banner. But that's in this dispensation, those sites are updated. In this dispensation, every website must have 4 major things. How many things? 4. So take note, in this dispensation, every website must have 4 major things. And those 4 major things in website, the first thing every website must have in this dispensation is what we call navigation. What did I call it? Navigation. If you remember the old-fashioned method of designing website, what will be the first thing the website we have? Just a title, it could be marquee, it could be whatever, the thing will just be moving. But now in this generation, this jet age, every website must have what we call navigation. So these are what we call navigation. So navigation are just summary of your site in a link format. Summary of your site. Navigations are the summary, what your site ought to do, what your site is out to do in a summary format, or what your site is out to do in a button click format. So these are what we call navigation. Take note, these are what we call navigation. Or this one, or this one, or this one, or this one. These are what we call navigation. So after navigation, in pari passu, your site ought to have a logo. And professionally, in this dispensation, the logo should be placed at the left wing of your website. At the left wing of your website. Okay, so I say in this dispensation, our website must have a navigation, must have a logo. Another most important thing that every website must have, which is the third, is banner. In this dispensation, that's what gives our website a professional look. You know, in those previous watermelon little introduction to HTML I taught you, there's no way you can expand your picture like that will form a background. Do you notice that this picture forms a fine background? So there's no way you can expand it. It's not really possible. So the reason is because in HTML, you can tell HTML to import picture, but you can't tell it to give that picture a definition. You cannot tell the picture. HTML cannot tell picture kind of definition you want to give to picture. The only thing you can tell it, okay, this picture I'm bringing, this should be the size, this should be the width, but I can't tell HTML that this picture, when it's coming, fence the picture, make the picture the background, make the picture to be blinking, make the picture to be rolling. You can't do all those things. That is the work of anything that relate to motion. You want the picture to be moving, and you do that with what we call JavaScript. I repeat again, anytime you want to do anything that relates with motion on your pictures, you do that with what we call JavaScript. Well, you see, anything that relates with is anything that commensurates with, like, you want to give a definition, a professional definition to your picture, you do that with what we call CSS programming language. Okay, without further ado, let's really dabble into our program in detail. So you see, I will start by, I've written my title, for example, now, how to make a video on YouTube, right? So this is the title, how to make a video on YouTube. Because of time factor, I might not be able to really be typing it. I just want to be explaining to you also quickly, because I want to make the video as short as possible. If not, so this is going to take us more than an hour to explain. So, but I don't want my video to be too long, so if you are just follow meticulously. Okay, so now you see, I wrote how to make a video. That is the title. So now, if I want to really give a defined instruction to my title and to everything that will be placed after my title, we use what we call HTML command called style. As I see, we open what we call style here, and this will say I want to tell this HTML that I want to give a fine define to my padding, to my margin, to everything that will be coming after the title. This is what I mean by that. If you really want to design here, look at this place. Here now, if you discover here, there's a black color here. There's a black color, and I made that black color. I stationed the black color, and I put this picture behind the black color. But if you notice, I put this logo too at this place, and I was telling you now that this is your title. So if I put style now, what I'm trying to tell this notepad now is that after this style, this major heading, the top, this heading, I want to give fine definition to this heading. I want to set the margin, I want to set the padding, I want to, if you notice, I look at the margin here. Look at margin. You know, this side is margin. From here downward now is what we call margin. From here downward, look at it. From this place downward is what we call margin. When you rule line like this, margin. And this one, from this place to this place, what we call padding. From this place to this place, what we call padding. From here to here is what we call margin. So I want to give a definition. I don't just want this side up now to come and stay here. I don't want this place to start from this place. I want to give a very unique definition to my work. So what is the HTML language you are going to input into Notepad? What is the HTML? Sorry. So take note of it if you really want to give a well definition to your title. So as I've said, I said when you want to give a well definition to your title, what is the programming language you are going to send to Notepad? That is style. And I say style is under which programming language? Under HTML. So you are going to tell HTML, basic apartheid mode language, that come on, I want to have a well definition to my title according to my desire. That is to say, I want to set my padding, which I say this is your padding. Just observe my cursor as it's moving from here to this place is your padding. I want to set my margin from here to this place is margin. I want to give it a very unified look. So now let's dabble into it. So that is the meaning of that style. So, but you know, the title of this unit is integration. You remember, it's integration, and integration is like you cannot do all these things with just one language. You must bring other languages into the play work. So now look at, I start an assertion. I start what? An assertion. So in coding, when here I start an assertion, it may introduce a new code. Take note of that. Take note of that. When you hear a programmer said, I want to start an assertion, that is to say, I want to divert from the former language I'm using to new language, but that new language they will still work in pari passu. You understand what pari passu? They work hand in hand. So I said I want to start what? An assertion. And the meaning of starting an assertion is like I want to introduce new script here, or let me say I want to introduce new program here. Okay, now look at it. I start by using asterisk and this bracket. So in programming, or let's say in basic computer language or in basic mathematics, this bracket is called curly bracket. It's called curly bracket. C-R-E-U-R-L-Y. It's called curly bracket. Curly bracket. I beg your pardon. So this one at the front is called asterisk. Called asterisk. So I will explain what is their meaning anytime you see them in programming language and what they connote. This asterisk simply means asterisk simply means selector. Asterisk simply means selector. What is asterisk? Asterisk simply means selector. So in programming language, when you see asterisk, it connotes selector, and the meaning simply means everything I'm going to type. From this place I put this asterisk, and do you get it? From this place I put this asterisk. I put asterisk and then I open a bracket, and I say the bracket is called curly bracket. So what I mean is that within this, from this place I put this asterisk, to anywhere you're going to see this curly bracket again, let the computer select everything I'm going to put there. That is the meaning. I will explain, like on your phone, or let's say on Microsoft, you can press Ctrl A. That is what? Select all. If I do like this, what did I just did now? I select from this title to this title, right? If I do like this, Ctrl A, I select all. So if you put this bracket, if you put this asterisk here now, what I mean by that now is that everything that comes after this asterisk to where we see the next bracket, computer should select it now and start working on it. At the minute I'm typing it, computer should select it as a group and start working on it. Now, the meaning of this curly bracket in programming simply means curly brackets simply mean work together, work together, work together, or move together, work together or move together, together or move together. I said the meaning of this curly bracket is work together. That's why if you say curly bracket, maybe inside the curly bracket they wrote John and Effie, John and Effie, and they put those names in curly bracket. Is a sign that is either they are related by blood or they are related by marriage. Anytime you see this bracket and they put two names inside, that shows those people whether they are brothers and sisters or they are married. I don't know if we are getting. Okay, now in programming language, when you see asterisk, what does it connote? Select. Everything I'm going to write after this word, help me to do what? Select it. When you see curly bracket, what does it connote? Work together. They are the same. They should go together. That is to say, as I'm setting margin and I'm setting padding. Now, for example, I say margin should be 0, padding should be 0. What I mean by that is like, as this programming is reducing margin, you should reduce the padding the same time. What I mean by that now is that if it's reducing this margin, you should also reduce this padding at the same time. You should reduce them at the same time. That is the meaning. Okay. Now, I say style, then I open margin is equals to 0, padding is equals to 0. Now, in programming language, are we following? In programming language, there's something we call pad up. What did I say? Pad up. And take note, this asterisk stand for is a language for CSS. Anytime you see this, maybe you are checking the code they use to design a website. When you see asterisk is which programming language? CSS. Style is which programming language? HTML. So curly bracket is JavaScript programming language. Curly bracket is example of JavaScript programming language. So when I say margin 0, padding 0, when I put it like that, what will happen now is like this website, there won't be any margin at the top. That is this. When I put margin 0, margin 1, because that's when I start designing this logo, it come to this end, will be at the end. Then this right up will be also at the end of this place. Everything will be padded up, because that's how I want to introduce my work. So now, and I say we have what we call pad up. So in JavaScript, anything you want to do, remember in HTML, anything you want to do, we are using this less than and greater than sign. But in JavaScript, anything you are doing, the basic thing you use is curly brackets, full colon, semicolon. Take note of it. If I ask you now, what are the simple symbols for JavaScript? Curly bracket, full colon, and what? Semicolon. So now look at, whenever I put this, the first thing I did is that I want to set the meaning of this margin 0, padding 0 is like I want to set both the padding and both the margin to factory mode, that is to 0 first as I'm starting. I will now start designing as I'll be led. Okay, so look at now. So I immediately I opened, I put asterisk, that is to say everything I'll be typing, what will you do for me? Select it, okay? And I open curly brackets, which connote that everything that is going to be that I'm going to put here now, work on them together, let them work together. So I open it. When I open it now, definitely all those things I want to work together, I must define them inside. So and the first thing I want to define inside is what we call margin, like this line here, like where we wrote 1, 2, 3 as example of margin. Right? I say margin. And in JavaScript, when you write anything, if you want to put the variable, what you will put at the front is full colon. Just like say 4 plus 4 is equals to. So your equals to, for instance, standing for this full colon. So I say margin should be equals to 0. And in JavaScript language, anytime you are not done with what you are doing, and you still want to continue, just like in English language, when you are not done with what you are doing, what will you use? You use comma. So that's why we use semicolon.